All right then. So one of the features in Rate That Horse is our stallion ratings, and this is particularly useful for 2-year-olds. So all of these flat juvenile races that you get throughout the summer, and that you tend to get at this time of year on the all weather. So we've got Kempton and Dundalk today, where we've got a whole bunch of 2-year-olds running. Some of them have run before, some of them haven't. But I'm not really interested right now in form. I can go and have a look at that later. What I want to do is see, well, on the basis of not knowing a lot about these 2-year-olds, what can we tell about their stallions? Now, this rating is based on the performance of this stallion's offspring. So let's say Baby Bay here. He or she is out of New Bay. And this rating relates to all of New Bay's progeny in these conditions. So, at this age, at this distance, at this track, all of that goes into this number. What you see in here is a really high stallion rating of 3.51. You don't really find stallion ratings of more than 3. I'd say anything above 2 is a really good stallion rating. Below 2, below 1, I tend to avoid it. So I could order everything by stallion and say, oh, look here, New Bay's got a couple running. This one's 3.5, this is 2.86. Obviously, New Bay's offspring maybe do better at Kempton. But we've got some others, 2.78 is quite good. Lopez Gold, they're 2.44. So there's a bunch of actually quite well-rated stallions today. They're often the same ones, Maymas, Twilight Sun, Acclaim. Doesn't really matter who that stallion is, although if you're really interested in it, you can search for it. But what I want is, I want everything that's above 2. But it's a bit like the analogy of Lionel Messi playing for Bradford City, is that he can win everywhere if he's well supported by a really good team. But when he goes to somewhere like Bradford City and he's playing with a whole bunch of duffers, if the trainer and jockey are rubbish, doesn't matter how good your stallion rating is. So if the trainer has a really poor record of 2-year-olds, that's probably going to show up here. So 0.9 and 0.59, they're not great. We're not playing at Newmarket here though, so we're not going to have massive trainer ratings, but I still don't think they're very good. So I'm going to restrict that. I'm going to say minimum of 1. And jockey as well, it's exactly the same. If you don't have a good jockey, then likelihood is he's going to get held up at the back, or he's not going to get the run he needs. So I'm going to restrict that. All of a sudden, I've got a very short list of 2-year-olds who are well bred and probably quite well supported. Instantly, I'm looking at this and thinking, well, actually, let's take that by yard. I've got Small Print and Calapa. Do it by jockey. Calapa, 445 at Kempton. There's the odds. The adjusted stallions are kind of recalculation of all of this to give you a bit of a different picture. So you can sort it by adjusted stallion, and that gives you a completely different picture on who are the 2-year-olds to look for. Maybe you can start with this and just go by adjusted stallion. So Calapa, certainly in the 445 at Kempton, is a horse I'd be looking at. So then I'll go to the race cards. 445 at Kempton. And what have we got? Well, there's our Calapa. Let's highlight him so we can keep an eye on him. He rated 52 on debut, so he's raced once. He got a speed rating of 54, which is okay. His jockey is Harry Burns, 2.69. So what's that in the context of the race? Third best, not far off top. Trainer, not far off top. Stallion in context, he's not top. Thomas Aquinas, but his jockey's there. Reasons to back, got 5 of them and a difference of 5. That's pretty good. We've got Test in Faith here that's run a couple of times. He's had more chance to build a speed rating, 79, 58. It's potentially the better horse, but you always look for improvement in a 2-year-old. So 52 first time out probably isn't that bad. And there's a lot in his favour. He's got 7.43 for a second time out horse, and odds of 14 to 1. Probably something worth placing. So that's how I use Stallion ratings. I hope you find that useful.